What do you do when you're in the trenches of life? When it feels like all of the things aren't quite going as planned, or you got sick family members, or you can't keep up with the to-do list, or you got just feel too stressed to work, or you got a lot of tedious, mind-numbing, not fun stuff that has to be done. That kind of felt like my January with my mom's passing, and then the family got sick for a week, and then I got injured, and it was just like there was just a lot of things that happened in January, and so there were some pretty gritty days that had to keep going. So, what do I do in the gritty days to increase my energy, to feel better about what needed to be done, to be able to show up in a better space for myself, for my family, for the job that I had to do, for the partnership projects that we're working on, all these things. So, I made a little list for myself that was what I kept going back to during the hard times. Number one, the thing that I found really helped me is on my whiteboard over here. I had a to-do list. I just made sure that like in giant letters in front of me, I could see what the highest priorities were, so that in the fog of my own emotional uh, chaos and mental fatigue, I could just look up at my whiteboard and see what my priorities actually were, so I didn't get distracted. So I could just like, you know, check them off and get them done so I could go back to resting. Uh, Two, having music playing really shifted my mood. It made me want to move. It made me feel better. So I found having background music while I was working, I found having background music on when I wasn't working just helped to uplift my spirits more. Getting outside, so being outside as often as possible, going for walks, going outside to stretch, doing breath breaks between meetings, all those things really helped. Getting into freezing cold water, the lake and the ocean down the road for me were essential, like for my mental health. Just like throwing my body into freezing cold water, it would shift everything. Something about almost dying that does that, helps to put things in perspective. Uh, Extra sleep, making sure I wasn't staying up late, making sure I wasn't trying to work in the evenings, just like letting everything go and making the evenings more restful. Surround myself with good friends. So actually, if I couldn't hang out with my friends because I was taking care of the family, or the family was sick, so I couldn't really go get other people sick. So I was just making more of an effort to actually pick up the phone and call my friends and receive support that way, just like chatting with friends, chatting with my dad, all that sort of stuff. And then the last one that I found most helpful is just like moving my body every day, whether it was dance parties with the family when we all found down, like let's just turn up some music and dance for 10 minutes. Stretching, yoga, going for a jog, all these things I found were essential for helping me to move through the grieving, resistant, resentful spaces that I found myself in the month of January. And it was really wonderful. On Sunday, um, I was doing all of these things to just try to keep my head above water. And then on Sunday, I just felt a switch. And all of a sudden, it was like internally, I felt inspired. I felt excited about the mountain that is now in front of me that has to be climbed. And I felt more of like that bring it on attitude shift in. And I think all these little practices that I was doing, they all contributed. And then I guess the last thing is waking up before everybody else in the morning, I found was really helpful, that I could just have that my own solidarity and my own space in the morning to wake up, to be with my thoughts, to be with my body, and uh, go out with the dog. When it was frosty, I couldn't play golf, so I would just go for a hike. But all those practices really helped, and I think it's important. Um, as creators, like life is going to throw us curveballs, and we need to keep going. We can't stop our businesses when we have a hard day. Sometimes, that is the medicine. It's just like, I'm going to take the day off and I'm going to unplug. And I definitely had a couple of those in January. But for the most part, we have to keep serving our people. We have to keep moving forward. And it's these practices of self-restoration and that help us to become resilient, so that the next time we get the waves that hit us hard in life, that we're more resilient to be able to stand up to them, to be able to move through them with more grace and more ease, and that we can still move our vision forward. And I think it's an important thing, because shit happens. Life can be really hard sometimes, and it's how we respond, it's how we show up, it's what we do despite the things that are happening in our world. And for me, that little list there is what got me through my difficult January.